Welcome everybody to the LNN, that's right, the Latin Nerds Network. Here with our review, spoiler review for Loki, the series, in particular this season finale, episode 6 on Disney+. My name is Jose. Excited to be here and we're introducing first time guest appearance by one of our regulars on our podcast. He is, of course, the man who put the M in Miami. He is the man beast, the ambassador of hate. The one and only is Señor Miguel Rosa. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Estoy bien, man. We're here to have a great time and talk about Loki.
Talk about Loki. I know we haven't spoken about your thoughts on the show yet. I mean, full disclosure.
I think I cried to you on text for a minute, but yeah.
You did, but nothing specific. I know this is a show where we both loved the first two episodes. The third one was bad. And then we haven't spoken, in depth since then. So I'm kind of curious to see what your thoughts were, particularly the finale, right? Because obviously the show ended. I know we're late to the party here, but hey, whatever. We cannot have our thoughts on the show. So Mike, let's do this, man. Let's
all right, I'm ready to rock.
Here. And I'll start with you here because I'm curious to see what you thought about and just quick general thoughts, right? Nothing specific. We'll get the specifics in a moment. But just as far as the finale and just in general the series as a whole.
Well, the series as a whole, I have to say that I liked it. It was okay. It wasn't bad. How's that? Okay. There was some stuff that I thought was really cool, and there was some stuff that annoyed me. And, I think we'll get in depth with it. Mm-hmm. But, you and I both have kind of a soft spot for time travel, and and Marvel just doesn't do it right. And this series is another example of that, to be completely honest with you.
And well, what about the finale itself? How did it end for you anyway?
The finale itself, I was disappointed with.
Wow, really? Okay.
To be honest, yeah.
I thought
it wasn't terrible, but I mean, I was expecting to get blown away, and I wasn't blown away. So.
And I have a theory.
Hey, if you want to call that hate, I guess it's hate, but it's not.
Some people call it hate. It's just, it is what it is, right? It's funny because if you don't, if you're labeled as not liking something, you're a hater, right? And that's not what it's about. You don't have to like everything, for Christ's sake. If you're hating for the sake of hating, then yes, that's a different conversation entirely.
Yeah, that's not me.
But I think
if something's good, I'll call it good.
And I think there's a theory as to why I don't think it ended as well as you wanted it to, even for me. And I'll say now, I enjoyed the finale. It wasn't fantastic. It didn't blow me away, and there's a reason for that, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. Some good things, some bad things, about it. But overall, it was a good time. I think it's funny because out of the three seasons of Marvel shows so far on Disney Plus, this has been my favorite one. I don't think either one was really like WandaVision that much. There's no secret.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Your brother liked WandaVision. I didn't like it at all.
Right, I was right.
In fact, there was 2 episodes that I really liked, and the other, what was it? There was 8 or 6 in that series. I think it was 8.
8 or 9. It may have
I think it was 8.
Anyway,
whatever.
Neither here nor there.
There was only 2 episodes I really liked. Everything else, honestly, was just not that great. And maybe it's just it got too meta for me, and that's fine, right? Because all of us don't want to be, I don't want to look like an idiot, but to be honest with you, I don't want to think too much when I'm watching TV. I want to enjoy a TV show.
I don't know. For me, I don't mind thinking. I love a good thinking man show, and that's fine. As long as it's done right? If you're going to give us something intelligent, then follow through on that. But again, WandaVision for me wasn't anything special. We both liked Falcon and Winter Soldier. I did. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was.
I loved it. Yeah. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
actually,
it was typical
of the 3, that was my favorite, to be honest.
I like this one. This one, I think, gave us a little more out there stuff. I mean, Winter Soldier was status quo. Nothing wrong with that, but it was by the book stuff we expect from Marvel, which again is fine. This one gave us a little bit more. None of these shows are perfect, obviously, but this for sure for me has been the best one. But so let's get into. Let's start with the negative first. At least I will. Something for me was very negative, and surprising because they gave us Jonathan Majors, introducing him as a King variant or whatever you want to. I know he's not.
He Who Remains.
Whatever nameless exact. Whatever. He's Kang.
He Who Remains. That was what they called him.
Right. He's Kang. We know he's gonna play Kang. He was supposed to appear in Ant-Man. So I'm surprised that's why he showed up. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going like this. Fine. And man, I don't know. And this could be just me. And Mike, I want to hear your thoughts on it because I really didn't like his performance on this one at all. I thought he was over the top, hamming it up, overacting, and maybe it's on purpose. I know maybe they're using this whole variant thing for him to kind of just go a different direction from what we would think Kang of being. And we still might get that version of Kang, in Ant-Man down the road. But I don't know, he just annoyed me. I like him, I do. But for me, he missed the mark completely.
Well,
Do you agree?
and
I
he
mean,
was all
is it
over
just me?
that. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Listen. I felt like they were trying too hard with that character. I'm not sure what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I did again. I just think this is an example of the Marvel Cinematic Universe not understanding how to handle time travel, and that's one of my issues with this show to begin with. And this dude, look, I I like Jonathan Majors, and Lovecraft Country was a great show,
Agreed.
and he was excellent in it. He's a very good actor. And what happened on this show? I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell is
I
this?
know it was jarring, and I was talking to a friend. He put it best, where it reminded him of Marvel's version of Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. You know,
That's a very good
it really is
comparison.
very good
I was gonna go
observation.
to like Jim Carrey in The Mask. That's how ridiculous and overexpressive
Yeah,
he
it was
was.
odd, and
It
again,
was it was silly.
it was
It
weird.
was a silly performance.
Yeah,
There's no other way to put it.
agreed.
And then I just felt like this series in particular did a bad job of covering their tracks when it came to things that happened earlier in the series. There was a lot of stuff that they didn't explain. And look, maybe we're going to get that in season 2, which is fine, I guess. But there really was nothing that came of a lot of stuff.
Well, I think that's what I was alluding to earlier, and we can start there because it's kind of a negative, but not really. Where I thought, because I thought about this, right? I think we're both. I liked the finale, but I was still underwhelmed to a certain degree, and I think we went in there thinking this was the finale episode of the series, right? And had we known that there was going to be a season 2, I think our expectations would be different because we wouldn't expect things to resolve because there's yet another season coming. And we were not aware of it. It was surprising the end credits, them saying, oh, Loki 2 coming out or pending coming soon, which we hadn't gotten from WandaVision or Falcon Winter Soldier. They may do another
But
season, but they haven't announced it. So there's no expectation for it now. Because even like going back to the Owen Wilson thing where we were like dead on set that we were going to get him on a jet ski at the end of the season, right? We thought that. They talked about it. It was kind of little foreshadowings and him on a jet ski in some fashion. And had we known this wasn't going to be last episode, I probably would never thought. I would have said, well, okay, that's going to happen down the road, right? So I don't know. You tell me if am I off base with that? Because if I told you before watching Let's
right,
Find Out season
but I
two,
think you're reading too much into it, bro.
not
Look, and we're not disagreeing. I
right.
think we're both on the same side of the fence with this. But let's be honest. I was watching this and I didn't see any kind. The jet ski one is a perfect example of. It was a piece of information that they gave us that meant jack shit
That's what I'm saying. But if I told
in the
you,
progression of the story.
right?
How about the blue bubble gum or the blue gum? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, that's a
No,
small,
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
you're
Or
right.
the kid and the kid speaking French in the in the
Yeah, I just think
in the
that
in the
kid was just
temple.
a kid that just showed up, happened to be there, kind of thing. He was like a witness. So,
Right, but
you know,
it's all I'm saying is like they try to make a big deal out of stuff, and then really they never even explained which Loki variant that was, and was there other you see where I'm going with
no,
this? It's
and
just
that's what I'm thinking. And like I said, if I told you before, there's more in one season than saying, okay, I'll expect not everything to be explained now, right? There's a potential of then going deeper in season 2, potentially.
right, but you still have to find some way to resolve crap that is left undone because there's a lot of stuff left undone on this show.
Well, but again, they can go back and visit. That's all I'm saying. It's possible.
True.
If I said this is the last episode and there's no more Lokis, then those gripes are even more legitimate because now we're never going to get those answers. We can still get those answers. And that's what I'm saying. I think that if we had known going into it, this is going to be the end of just the first season, guaranteed season 2, okay. Expectations change in terms of storytelling, right? Not all the loops are going to be closed because there's more to come down the road. So, but again, not a huge thing for me. knowing now season 2, I kind of forgive it. But positive side, it was not a terrible episode, right? It's a good episode for me, and I love Loki and was Sylvie together. I mean, Tom Hiddleston, he's good, man. He's fantastic as Loki. He
No, he's
owns
an
this
excellent
role.
actor.
Yeah,
And actually, the lady that played Sylvia, I can't remember her name right
I
now.
forget her name, but yeah.
Yeah, she's very good too.
Yeah.
My issue again, and you and I have talked about this, is there wasn't really a villain in this series, and that's kind of annoying to me. And even really if you go back to Falcon and Winter Soldier, there wasn't really a villain in that series. So it's just like it's Marvel's. I don't know why Marvel does this to us. Let's have a big bad. Why can't we have a big bad?
I think that they're
What
just building it up. They want to do what they did.
I get
and
it.
It was a
I
Thanos type
no,
villain.
I get that, but Thanos, even at the end of whatever, Thanos isn't really that big of a bad. It's just like it's like,
Oh, see, that I push back on that. I mean, come on. He eliminated half the universe, so I mean, come on.
well, yeah, but
That's
then
pretty
when they
badass.
went to go see him, in Endgame on his own planet, he was like, oh,
Well,
you know,
because I think
he was like lazy Thanos. The only thing he was missing is like a bowl of popcorn and fucking
yeah, but
Netflix.
at the end,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
when you go, you have a job to do and you do it. You can Netflix and chill. I'm gonna let that go, right? He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He was done. He was not under the impression they were gonna undo what he did, right? Nobody
But
was.
then he was like, I don't know, dude. It's just all I'm saying is, what's wrong with being evil for the sake of evil? What's wrong with that?
Right, I
Why is
get
it?
no. I give you that because we had issues with and we talked about Black Widow before. What they just shit on Taskmaster and the other guy was just a 2D.
Oh my
But I
God.
mean, I'm not even getting into it now.
Yeah.
It's about
No,
Loki,
no, that's just
but it's just an
awful.
example of
And
what Marvel
yeah.
does. And that's listen, it is what it is. I'm used to it by now. If they give it to us, fantastic. If not, whatever. It's par for the course, so that doesn't disappoint me too much. But listen, Tom Hiddleston, Sylvie, great together. I like that. I mean, it was kind of that.
No, there was some definite chemistry.
No, there was. But at the end, not much early on, but I think.
And really I really dug the early time variance authority stuff.
No, that part was great. All
Um,
that worked out really
I
well.
thought it was cool, but there was stuff they presented there that they never really followed up on, which bummed me out near the end of the show. Which maybe they're gonna do, maybe they'll do that in season 2. I don't know, but you really got to explain that to people, right? I mean, it's not. Look, I I know there's a lot of high thinkers that love this crap, but tell me what's going on. I just want to know what's going on.
And I think again, at the season 2, so that's why I won't. I'm not gonna harp on that because I don't know what's gonna happen. If the season 2 they give us something completely different, then okay, then we'll have that conversation. But let's talk about, I guess, Owen Wilson, who kind of began to shaft the last 3 episodes, and I guess he had some time in his finale, right? And I guess he was hell bent on destroying the TVA, and obviously it came up a little bit short. And then,
Hey, what? By the way, before you get to that, what is it in Marvel series or Marvel where they have like a hero type person driving like some goofy car? Like in WandaVision, it had what's her face, the scientist
with the van or
from
whatever they called it,
Sword
yeah,
driving the friggin' ice cream
yeah, that's what
truck.
it was. That's what
And
it was.
now Owen Wilson's driving the goddamn pizza thing with a stupid pizza like bobbing around on top of the goddamn car. And I was like, what the hell is
I
this?
don't know what else they could pick up in Limbo, or whatever that place is called.
It's a ridiculous
But
show, man.
whatever,
Come on.
whatever, right? If you try to be funny, it didn't
Nobody
work.
was
And
checking
I'll
the
agree with
oil.
you there.
I don't know how long's it been sitting there in limbo.
Well, people don't have to drive there apparently. The Lokis don't know how to drive clearly. But that being said, it's a shame because I thought Owen Wilson was the best or second best part, along with
He
Tom
was the best
Hiddleston.
part of the first 4
Right.
episodes.
Easily by far, he's fantastic. So, but I mean, obviously, in the end, we see him like, I guess, obviously, can get killed or whoever the version.
What was that? What was that? What was that?
I think it's just a new reality. That's because everything was branching off in the end, right? All these new timelines because of his death, right? Which he said it was going to happen. I think when Loki went
But then
back,
he didn't even know who Loki was at the end of the show.
right?
So it was weird.
I don't think he went back to just a different timeline, a different multiverse or whatever, a different branch of it. And it's one where okay, the TVA exists, but they don't know him. He hasn't been there for it. It's a whole new arm branched out, and that's where he ended up, and which is cool. I found that interesting because obviously now that adds
I
a big
guess. How
dimension.
many different multiverses
But
are
there's
there
a lot
though?
if you see it. I mean,
It just
it
gets.
just
But
branches off.
that's the thing is it gets kind of friggin' sticky. You know what I'm saying?
It could. Right now, it hasn't because we haven't got. I mean, when we
Well,
see
it
Spider-Man,
did though in a way, right?
I
So
mean, they just
if
set it
you
up. They just
remember,
set it
in
up.
was it the first episode, Loki brought up the fact that the Avengers all traveled back in time and screwed around with to try to pick up Infinity Stones, and uh, Judge Ravencroft or whatever her name, Renslayer,
That's it, yeah.
said, "Oh yeah, but they had our permission to do that."
Well, that was part of
And
the plan, which is
right, but then
you know.
like at the end of the universe, frickin' the He Who Remains was like saying, "Oh, you could do whatever the hell you want," and this is all bull crap. And I'm
Well,
just
not
like,
really. I think he just knew what was going to like everything. He knew what was going on. Everything that's allowed to happen, he allows to happen. Right? He has carte blanche as far as dictating what is part of the timeline, the acceptable
right,
timeline.
but
So
how
I
did
was
all
fine
of a
with that
sudden out of nowhere then he doesn't know what's going on?
because
I just really felt it was really poorly put together.
well, I see that part I'll push, but I think it was part of it. It got to a point where he knew what was going to happen to a certain point. Once it passed it, he had no idea, and once he died, there's no one controlling it. So now there's no one to maintain that main timeline. So it branches off because as soon as he died, all these branches, and just like he said. So I was okay with it. I thought he explained it was over explained to me. It was very exposition heavy, but I get it, and he explained. Obviously, there's more than one
I felt
version of
like
him.
I still felt like there was some junk there that is pretty clunky, wonky, whatever you want to call it, that didn't work for me. But again, like I said, was it a bad show? No. In fact, I like the show and I love Tom Hiddleston. I think he's great. It's just, and you know what? I liked all the variant Lokis and I liked all the variant stuff. I actually liked the thing that all the people that worked at the TVA were variants. I thought that was great.
That was cool, yeah. Good reveal too, and
But
yeah.
but there was just things that I'm having a hard time getting over. And again, I think this all relates back to some of the time travel horseshit problems that we had with Endgame, and then they had to take a shit on Back to the Future, which kind of pissed me off. Because that's a great movie, dude. I'm sorry,
Of
it's a
course.
great movie, and it makes sense. It actually makes sense when they're talking about time travel, which is pretty cool. And none of the things they did in Endgame when it came to time travel made sense, including the Steve Rogers crap. I mean, why wouldn't he save President Kennedy's life? Why wouldn't he? Uh, there's a billion things he could have done to affect horrible shit that happened.
Right, and a lot of people complain about
And
that. Yeah, including myself. But again, that's not Loki. I'm not gonna.
right, but I'm just
I'm
saying,
not
no, I
blending
know
the
it's not
two.
Loki,
Yeah.
but I'm saying it's the same kind of thing, right? Because they could have done the same thing with Loki, and they just kind of dorked that up. But again, like I said, if you're asking me like on a scale of 1 to 10, what I felt like this show was, I would give it a good 6.5 or 7. I mean,
Yeesh.
it's not I don't think it's a
Very
9,
generous of you.
right?
I'm being sarcastic with that.
I know, but
I'll go
no,
like an
but
eight. If
seven's
I'm
not
gonna
bad.
rate it, yeah, I'll do like an eight.
Seven's
Yeah.
better than average.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'll probably go eight, 8.5. I mean, there was issues, but whatever. I still I like what they set up. I mean, because it's
What would you give? What would you give? Just as an aside, what would you give WandaVision?
probably a 5.
Okay, I'm good with that.
You know,
I would give
at
it that,
best.
or maybe a little lower because the last episode was so shitty.
Right, and well,
But
but that's a 5. It had
right,
a
and
good
really
laugh.
not a lot. That's a difference between Loki and WandaVision, right? Is the exposition of WandaVision was so crappy, in my opinion, especially in that last episode. You really didn't know what the hell was going
No,
on.
this one I think handled. We talked about that before with the exposition, particularly in the first 2 episodes, which was a lot, but it was needed. And I thought they did a good job of setting everything up, right?
No,
'Cause,
no,
yeah,
I thought that
yeah,
was excellent.
really
The
good.
exposition, actually, the exposition in the first 4 episodes was very good. 3 episodes was very good.
I'll say
No,
2.
which was the one that we didn't like? Was it three or four that we
The
really
3
didn't like?
wasn't good. 4 was good. That was good,
Oh,
and
okay,
4, right?
right.
Yeah.
The third episode was not good.
No, that was a bad episode, and
Yeah.
so whatever, and that's what really kind of weighed the show down. But overall, like I said, I still enjoyed it. I like what they set up. I'm glad this season 2 because it shows a lot of potential, a lot of promise. And again, I'm kind of curious how they're gonna handle in terms of the MCU this multiverse thing. It can get really out there and confusing, which I agree with you there. Like, because a casual fan have, particularly if they don't watch
I
everything,
just think
may
it
get
get
lost.
too whacked
That's what I'm
for.
saying. Yeah, they're gonna get like, okay, what's
That's
going
why I
on?
think like House of M type stuff is not going to work for. I hope they don't try to do that with MCU because it's going to confuse the hell out of
I don't think they're
fans.
doing that particularly, but some things, a lot of storylines are going to introduce. I mean, it's going to get heavy. You can't do this multiverse thing and not be heavy.
Right, but I
I'm kind
mean,
of curious to see how the fans react to that.
you're
And
requiring fans to see every fucking
well,
movie,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
that's not going to happen.
It may. I mean, the diehards are going to watch it all. We watch it all.
Well, yeah,
You know,
I'm going to watch it all.
right?
You're going to watch it all. But some jabroni that's just, hey, look, Ant-Man and Spider-Woman is at the theater this week. Let's go see it. Okay, what the hell was that all
No,
about?
I agree.
You know,
Yeah, these movies are gonna get harder to follow. But even if you've
right?
seen all these, we're gonna see it, and you come out here like, okay, what's going on? I think a lot of people are like, okay, what's going on? So they need to be very careful what they do moving forward. I mean, listen, I'll trust that they're gonna get this right. That's all I can do, and then let's see what happens. We'll see how Spider-Man does it, and particularly Doctor Strange and the multiverse of madness, how they're gonna handle this going
Well,
forward.
Ant-Man, Spider-Man, both going to handle the same kind of stories too. So,
Particularly, but I think
in fact, they're going to introduce Kang in the Ant-Man.
right,
By
but
the
that
way,
comes out after Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is the one they're gonna tackle this head on, right? I mean, the title says it alone: multiverse the madness of multiverse or
Madness,
whatever it is. So it's
Multiverse of
right. So
Madness.
it's in the title, so you know that's gonna focus. So that's the one that's gonna really set the stage. I think Spider-Man might start it off. Then the main course will be Doctor Strange, and then from there, who knows? But again, we'll see what they're gonna do. It's interesting. Nothing else. It's a lot of potential there, right? And I think we agree on that. If it works, well, I'm sure we'll talk about it soon. So just leave it there, Mike. Listen, again, good show for me. I think you agree.
I
Not a
I
great
thought it was
show.
good.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
Right, neither
Good.
one of
Good.
us.
Not great.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think we're actually a lot more in agreement on it than I think you thought we were. But it was good. It was okay. I enjoyed it. I didn't like dread Wednesday mornings.
No. I
Uh,
look forward to all the episodes. I was like, okay, let's see what happens, and hey,
like I said, I was looking forward to that last episode, and it just didn't meet my
that's fine.
expectations.
And again, that's just and I said we're all victim of expectations, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't, and it's a double-edged sword, right? Yeah, you get
Right.
excited, but sometimes you get too excited, and if it doesn't deliver, you're gonna be disappointed. Like you walk in with no expectations and you like something because you thought it was gonna be shitty. So it works both
Right.
ways. So it is. But look, at the end of the day, listen, we enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it? Let us know. Forget this is a new channel here. We're building this up. Subscribe, like us. We got all the movie reviews we're gonna be doing on the show. A lot of spoiler reviews we're doing on this show. We're doing a new show debuting this week about the strange stories and news and trailers that we're going to talk about. We got the watch list, one of our flagship shows. So Mike should be joining us for that soon, hopefully. With the first episode,
Hopefully.
debut without a co-host Chewy. We go over all the good best shows on streaming, what you should be watching. So a lot of stuff coming out. Plus we got of course my other podcast, Nerd Spinning, coming over as well. So look out for that. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.